Right, this is a little video about my T4 camper. This little one here. And the story is the ignition switch is wonky. And I was going to just change that. Well, look at this line. Actually, I was fitting a rear view camera, and I started getting into that, and I got that to the point where I found that it doesn't work, and that's got to go back now. But also I thought, well, while I got everything out, there was a load of old wiring in here. Somebody put one of those parrot things in, and I didn't want that, so I pulled that out. And they'd also fitted some sort of kit, cruise control, so there's bloody wires everywhere for that. I've pulled out acres of wires and things, and I thought, well, I'll do the ignition switch because it wasn't staying on, the radio wouldn't come on, whatnot. Now, the ignition switch is a tiny little thing which is here in this box. This is the new one. As always with these, it's awkward one-handed. There's the new switch, and that fits up in there, which you might think, well, fair enough, that's easy. The only problem is with the old one, there is a tiny little screw just up in there, and this here, it makes it impossible to get any sort of screwdriver onto it. Now, I watched a YouTube video of somebody else doing it, and he actually got a screwdriver on it, and I don't know how on earth he did it, because I've tried all sorts. I even bent one screwdriver so it's at a 90-degree angle, and that wouldn't shift it. And I've tried whacking it, and then I thought, well, I'll take the steering column thing out to get this off, but it's all attached to everything else, so I've got the steering linkage off down here at the moment, and there seems to be no way of removing this spring clip thing here which holds that spring in. I'm sure if I could get that off, then the thing would slide out and I could do the job, but with these, the Haynes unfortunately don't do a manual, and I don't know why, because there's so many of these vans around. I'm sure they'd be worthwhile doing it. And you've got this other manual, I don't know who makes it, a green covered thing, and it's absolutely bloody useless, to be honest. And so anyway, having laid in bed last night and thought about it, I've just come home from work now, and I think what I'm going to do is get my little Dremel, and I've forgotten I had a Dremel, and I'm going to grind the head off the nut, or off the screw, which is right up in under there somewhere. I've had a go at chiseling it, and I've actually broken a little bit of that aluminium casing, so when the thing goes back in, it's going to be a case of Mr. Bodget, I think, with the silicone and a bit of tape to strap it in. If not, I'll do something else. I'll have to find a way to get that off and replace that. But at the moment, that's where we get to. So, I'm going to get the Dremel and have a go at that. Well, the good news is that I've just managed to Dremel the thing out and put the new one in, and everything works. Just got to find a way now to fix it. The radio even comes on, like it should do. Lovely job. They didn't do that before, so that's good. I can start now putting all this back together again. God, what a nightmare. My advice to anybody is, if you've got your bloody switch gone, take it in the garage and let them do it. I mean, the switch was only £8, but what a sodding job to get to it. I mean, the ridiculous thing is, there's this great big steel bit of the steering column, which is fair enough, nice and strong, but there's a web which joins it just up under there, and the screw is right in line with the web. You can, even a long screwdriver, the longest, thinnest one I had, wouldn't go in there. You just couldn't get online with it. As I say, I bent one 45-degree angle and tried that, and that didn't do any good. Just a bloody nightmare. So I thought I could loosen all this off and spin it around and be able to get to it easy, and it doesn't happen like that. So a warning to you all: if you got your ignition switch sticky, take it to the garage. If it costs you 50 quid, it's probably worth it. Okay, I'll do okay, yeah, fair enough. When you come to take this, you're going to take this thing here off, you'll find that there's this stud thing here. Now there's no Allen key hole, you know, there's nothing there. It's just a round thing, so I don't know, some sort of grippy thing. What I did was cut a slot in it and it unscrewed with a screwdriver. I think that's the only way you're going to get it out, because you can't get pliers or anything on it, they just slip off. Okay. So there we are, that's what I've done. The new switch is in, and it was pretty firm anyway, but I've just put a cable tie around it just to keep it there. No problem then, is it, next time? If it ever does, and next time it'll just come out easy. And now I'm going to refit all these bits here, which will just slot in. Okay. Right then, here we've got the two halves of the instrument cluster, and as you can see, they're all cleaned up now. One slots into the other one, and they both carry two lots of connectors. There we are. Let's turn the camera a bit. They both carry a pair of connectors, and they seem to have this wonderful idea that one clip pushes in and the other one, which is on the body part, pulls out. So if you're trying to undo them, pull one out and squeeze the other one in. It's awkward, but it does come off. Right, anyway, so one drops inside the other, as you can see. The one with these connectors on will slide into there, like so. I don't know if you saw that. Busy doing it, and you're not forgetting to do it for the camera. There you go, it just slots them together. So that's the indicators and the windscreen wipers, and that all drops on top of there. There we go. All drops into there, and it's got 3 screws. These long thin screws which go in. The other one goes at the bottom there. So I just do them up. Oh no, not Phillips. Crossheads. There you are, get the idea, don't you? And then your clusters go in, your connectors go in there. My problem is I can't remember which side which went where. 1, 2, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that one. And that'll be worth counting before you put them on, wouldn't it? Okay. Okay, all the switches work fine, so I'm putting the steering wheel back on. I'm just making sure that the front wheels are straight, and I've got it lined up the right way. Looks good. All there is one big nut here, that one there, to go on, and I've got a big socket somewhere. I've actually used a 15/16 AF. Seemed to fit better than the metric one, so it's just a case of cranking it up. I'll just let go for this. Now there is one wire to connect on this, just for the horn, and at the moment I can't see where the bloody thing goes. It does go in behind, a little place it in behind there, because as usual they give you barely enough cable to get on and off with it. Anyway, I'll have to put the thing down to do it. Okay, there's that little wire connected up. Again, as you can see, there's just these little popper clips to pop in, so when I took it off, you just, you know, gently give it an unclip, and I assume it's going to clip back in the same. There we go. It is. Why is that doing that? I've got to do the immobiliser before I can check the horn. Bloody immobilisers. Pain in the also. Right. Horn works. Good. That's that job done. Apart from putting back the casings and everything else. And that's only clipped around there, you've probably already got that off. Right here you can see the this is the underneath of the thing. It swivels, it's on that bit of metal there. Just, if you want to take it down, you just unclip it. It just holds it there while you fiddle around. Okay, and then it screws through to the top one, and that's a fiddle as well. I tell you, everything on these bloody vans is a fiddle. And the people that design them, had to work on them, they bloody design them a bit better. They're shite.